I feel like one of the things that a lot of people who resell don't focus on enough, or at least speak about enough, is what's going on, in the world around us and how that may affect the business that we're in. In this video, I'm going to share some of my thoughts on what we could expect or how we should be going forth in our business based on what's happening with Dollar Tree. So let's get into it. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to talk to you guys about something. One of the things that I always say as far as my channel goes and reselling is that it's not just about selling stuff. You have to know how to run a business. I don't care if it's part-time, full-time, a hobby. It's not going to be a long part-time, a long full-time, or a long hobby journey if you don't understand the basics. Basics of business, of buying and selling, right? And at least have a somewhat good grasp on numbers. You don't got to be a math genius and do a lot of mathing, but you got to understand some basics. All right, in this video though, I want to talk about some of the things that we need to recognize about what's going on around us. And this stems from what I've seen at Dollar Tree. And now some of you guys may have seen it at your Dollar Trees. I know it's not every single one because there's about 4 or 5 Dollar Trees within my general vicinity that's close to me that I can go to, and maybe 2 of them have this set up and 2 of them don't right now, but it looked like they're going to be going toward that direction. Now we all know Dollar Tree, right? Dollar Tree started off everything $1. Everything $1, right? They was probably getting some really good prices in China on this stuff. And it was working for them. Then came the pandemic and shipping containers got backed up. Things changed, right? Prices start going up. So it went from $1 to $1.25. Okay. So now it ain't Dollar Tree, it's $1.25 Tree. Just don't sound as good as Dollar Tree though. So, okay, $1.25 Tree. But they got some fairly good brands and stuff in there. You go in there, you can find some good stuff in there, right? But now it ain't even $1.25 Tree no more. Okay, it's $3 Tree, $5 Tree. They going more toward, I think Family Dollar is owned by Dollar Tree. They're going more toward that. And I noticed this because I went in there, and I'm gonna show you guys what I seen. So let me show you these clips real quick. Now here you can see they got NYC brand, there's SE. I think we got some Revlon right there. Some of this has been repackaged, as you can see. That's not the original packaging. And some more Revlon right here. And then we move over here. I want to say this is Rimmel, but as you can see as well, it's been repackaged. So this is what Dollar Tree has been doing, guys. And of course, this isn't just recent. They started with 1,800 stores, but it's moving across the country. This is Maybelline lipstick over here, repackaged again. That's not the original packaging. That's Dollar Tree's packaging. But like I was saying, flower, you got the flower makeup right there. They're sitting there. A lot of this stuff, sometimes they'll just throw it on the shelf. They don't even bother putting it up on the racks or nothing like that. You got some Kiss nails, the press-on nails and things like that, or the glue nails. You got some more Maybelline. Now this is in the original packaging. Some of this is the Maybelline lipstick. More flower, that's been repackaged. That's not the original packaging. More lipstick that's been repackaged as well. Coming over here, we got the $5 section. Got some basketballs. This is the plus section, the Dollar Tree. This is what they call the Dollar Tree Plus section. So they went ahead and changed the name, so they didn't have to change the Dollar Tree brand. They just say, hey, we got Dollar Tree Plus. You got the craft section over here, $3. Everything pretty much $3 over here. And this ain't no different than you might find out Walmart, but maybe a little cheaper. You got the $5 stuff over here, and this is basically what's going on in this whole little both sides of these racks. You got some electronics over here for $5, some headphones, some socks, things like that, $5. Trash bags, hefty, which I think those would still be cheaper than at like Walmart. You got some $3 chemicals and things like that over here, and some more clothes and pillowcases, rugs. But this is how both of these owls look in the Dollar Tree. Okay, so you see that, right? Now, here's crazy. Here's what's crazy, because a lot of that stuff that you see, here's what they're doing. They're selling the really good name brand stuff, right? There's Maybelline, Wet n Wild. I've seen Revlon. I just bought some facial creams and stuff that literally bought it from them, was selling at Dollar Tree for $1.25, and I've been selling it online for $12. And I'm still selling it. And I ain't gonna show it because I'm still selling it. And we know how that go, right? But $1.25, I'm still. But this stuff right here, this ain't got nothing to do with Dollar Tree brand. This stuff is things that, so Dollar Tree in part, what they're doing is taking from the model of like Ollie's and, you know, TJ Maxx, where closeouts, right? They're getting items from closeouts. How else you get Revlon and things like that, and these bigger name brand things as far as makeup goes, right? So they buy that closeouts, and if you could see in some of those, in that video, some of that stuff is repackaged. It's just plain white packaging. I've even scanned the UPCs. It's not the UPC of the item itself. Nothing comes up when you scan them. So that's Dollar Tree's UPC. So they're repackaging it. So they're probably getting this stuff at closeouts, super cheap. And here's what I think. Even though they was getting stuff cheap in China, it still costs money to ship it. So yeah, I can get it cheap from the suppliers, but you know, the prices on containers and the price of gas and all that stuff start going up. So now that's adding to my overall cost of goods, right? Because yeah, maybe I'm still getting them, and their costs probably went up in China too, right? So now the cost for the product went up, the cost for transporting the product went up. When the product gets here, they still got to disseminate it out into their stores. So that's more. So just it's costing more to do that. So they probably thinking, you know, we might as well just try to see if we can source domestically, which is going to cut down, right? So they go to buy the closeouts and they buy all this liquidation and stuff like that. And liquidation ain't necessarily used or returned stuff, right? But they buy this and then they repackage it. It don't say Dollar Tree on it. It's still Maybelline. It's still the brand stuff, but it's brand name stuff, and they're selling it at $1.25. If they're selling that stuff at $1.25, they're getting it super cheap. But now they don't got to ship it from China, right? So that's one thing. So they already did the one price hike, but then that business model still is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. So what do they say next? Okay, now, as you can see in the video, they add in these aisles of items from $3 to $5. I don't think there was anything higher than that yet, but they're adding these aisles of items that are even higher now. So it ain't Dollar Tree and $1.25 tree, like I said, it's $3 tree and $5, right? So let's think about this for a second. Let's think about it. The business model itself was no longer sustainable. So what's the first thing they do? First thing they do, they raise prices. How much they raise prices? They raised prices by 25%, right? They said, okay, in order to keep this model going, we can't sell stuff for $1 no more. It ain't gonna work. Cost is going up. It's costing too much money to transport it. We're gonna raise prices by 25%. But that is still not enough. So what's the next step? And look, I can guarantee you, they talked about this stuff years ago. Okay, they didn't just come up with this $1.25% price hike and then add in these $3 and $5 items like just yesterday. This is something they already did, because these companies, they run the numbers, they do SWOT analysis and all of that, right? So what's the next step? You raise the price, then you introduce items that sell for a higher average price, right? So they raise their average sell price. All right, so you got price hike, and then you raise your average sell price. Those two steps. And I can guarantee you, as time goes on, there's going to be more and more items in Dollar Tree that don't cost $1.25. There's going to be more $3, $5, and I guarantee you they'll probably go up to $10 and $15. I don't know if they'll go beyond that, but that's what they did. And why is this important?
Okay, so this business, and I know what the thumbnail said Dollar Tree is failing, right? Well, of course, because the people who run Dollar Tree saw that if they continued with the same model, with the same strategies and plans, they would be out of business, and probably it wouldn't take that long. And so they took steps, preemptive, right? They were proactive in addressing these issues. They didn't wait until things happened. They increased their prices, they raised their higher average sale price, and who knows what other steps they might take. Why does this matter to us? Why am I bringing this up? Why did I make the thumbnail the way I did? Why am I even talking about this? Well, this is important for a number of reasons. One, it's a sign of the economy and what's going on in the economy, right? When you see these large companies doing things like this, that should tell you something about the state of the economy. Remember, we ourselves are in the business of buying and selling goods. Buying and selling goods. So if the larger companies are having to take steps to raise prices, to change their business models, because this ain't something small, guys. This is drastic. When a business comes out with a certain model, and that's what they build their name and their brand on, this model, and they change, they pivot. Like, this ain't gonna work, we got to change it up. That's a drastic step to take, because you're going away from what your name is about, what your mission is, right? You're going away from that. Why? Because if you don't, your business will fail. And this relates to us because, one, we are resellers, or we are reselling. I don't care if it's part-time, full-time, or a hobby. These lessons are important. This is why I always talk about doing a SWOT analysis. SWOT, SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you can understand where your business is. That's why you need to know your numbers. You should know if you continue on the path that you are with your business, will you be in business or out of business over the course of the next year, 1 to 5 years, right? You should know that based on just the current projections that you got. You're based on your current sales, and if you project that out, right? What this is telling us is this: we need to understand that we're going to have to raise our prices. And I know a lot of other reasons. Look, these people that's price tanking ain't going to last long, trust me. And eventually, the community as a whole is going to get on board with this price, raising price thing. And look, 25% sounds like a lot, but it's not. People got used to Dollar Tree, right? They at first, people was crying about it. Oh, Dollar Tree's going to $1.25. Didn't stop them from shopping there. And now, while they still got that $1.25, they're raising their average sell price, right? They're hiring it. So now it's going from $1.25. Yeah, we'll keep that, but we're going to introduce some other items. It's going to bring us in some more revenue. It's going to 10x our money, right? 20x our money, because that's what we're going to have to do to sustain, in order to sustain this business model. And we're going to have to start sourcing in other ways. Can't just bring the China stuff in. That's getting too expensive. We got to start sourcing domestically. And so as a business owner, these are the things you need to pay attention to. These things should be speaking to you whenever you out and about. It ain't just about, oh, let me scan this and see if this will make a profit. Let me scan that. Pay attention to what these other companies are doing. Pay attention to what these other businesses are doing. Don't just pay attention to the resellers and to the bolos and to the latest fad and because that's okay, but that's not what's going to sustain you over time. It's not, y'all. It's not. I'm telling you, these lessons are very important. You're going to have to raise your price by some amount. It's up to you to figure that out. Trust me, people are going to start getting on board with that. But if you don't want to do that yet, that's fine. But either way, it's going to be a two-pronged attack. Raise your price in a way that is not going to be too abrasive to the consumer, where it's just like, okay, but it ain't that much, right? That price hike from $1 to $20.25 really didn't assault you that much, right? It was like, whatever. But instead of them going and saying, okay, we got to raise all of our prices like to $2, $3, $4, they said, no, we'll keep it there, but we're going to introduce some items that sell for a little bit more. So you can raise your price a little bit, but then you have to start sourcing other items that sell for a little bit more. I know a lot of you guys are already out there doing that. I've been doing that myself, but I'm going to stick with my bread and butter. But I've been doing a little more retail arbitrage. I've been just looking at things and it's been working. Like my sell price on eBay, I think I'm up $4 or $5 from what it was. Almost the same thing on Walmart. And that's fine. I don't necessarily want to get away from the things that I've been selling that are like my bread and butter because they sell. It generates revenue, it generates cash flow. And the higher you go, sometimes that can kind of slow down the cash flow. I guess you can say, well, it makes up for it because it's sell for more, whatever. But my goal is to continue to increase the average sell price of the items that I sell overall by introducing things in that sell for more. And the good thing is that we still do have time to do that. It does take some work. You got to find good items. You got to find solid items. One person who talks about this a lot on their channel is John at Flipping Ain't Easy. He always talk about being uncomfortable. How last year in 2022, he was on the verge of having to get a job, but he kind of like came to the realization, and I don't know if he did a literal SWOT analysis, but mentally he did one, and he realized that, he had a threat to his business, to his livelihood, and that was the type of items he was sourcing. And so he did something about it, and now he's doing good. It's working for him, and that's perfectly fine. He sells pretty much anything that, will make him the type of profit he's looking to make, and that's perfectly fine. But if you don't do that, if you don't sit down and take a look at what's going on in your environment, you're going to lose in this game, man. And you can't play this rush to the bottom game that people playing, just price tanking everything. Look, guys, ain't nobody talking about these types of things when it comes to reselling like me. So come on, do me a favor, hit that like button and make sure you share this video if you feel like what I'm saying is pertinent. And if you feel like it'll help you out, because sometimes things can be obvious, but you don't think about it until somebody brings it up and you're like, damn, I didn't even think about that, but you have to act now. You have to act now. If the items, if your sales are super slow and you ain't making no money and things are, look, people still buying out there. That's for damn sure, right? People still spending money. People are going to continue to spend money. Things are still selling. The question is what? It's up to you to find that out. It's up to you to do the leg work, to do the research and investigating to see what is selling and what platform is selling the best on. And you have to make a pivot. Look, if you don't, maybe you never sold a certain thing before. Maybe you never sold outside of a certain platform, but you might have to. You might look, this ain't hard, but it's hard, right? It does take some work. It's simple, but it takes some hustle. You got to be able to hustle. You got to be able to think outside the box. And I do like what John said is you have to be willing to become uncomfortable. At the end of the day, if you looked at your business like a big corporation, right? Who is the corporation beholden to? And if you said the customer, you'll be wrong. The corporation is beholden to its shareholders, right? It's beholden to the shareholders. They have to make decisions. That's why sometimes, yeah, you don't want to piss off the customer base, but some decisions will if it's better for the shareholders, because the shareholders are the ones that, they footing the bill, right? If it wasn't for the shareholders, then they really wouldn't be in business. You might think it would be the customers, and in a sense you'll be right, but I mean, it takes money to make money, right? And so look at your small business the same way. Look at you as being, yeah, you might be the CEO and the boss, and a lot of people look at you. Ain't got to tell somebody look at themselves that way as the CEO and the boss, but tell a person, as you do this, look at yourself as the shareholder. As from that aspect, look at yourself as running your business and being beholden to yourself as the shareholder. Like, okay, it ain't just me. I gotta please these people. I got to please this person, right? What decisions would I, because if not, they're going to vote me out. They'll vote a CEO out if he's making decisions that's not going to keep the company profitable. If this CEO ain't making good decisions, board come together, vote him on out, right? Vote him off the island. Yeah, I mean, technically, nobody can vote you out the island, but you can go out of business and then you'll blame everything else. But what it really was, because you didn't want to do the work to get down to the root cause of why you may be struggling in your business. Look, Dollar Tree is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful example right now of what we need to be doing with our businesses. We need to be paying attention to this, y'all. Need to be focusing on why they're doing things like this. You're going to see this more and more across the board with all these companies that sell direct to consumer. They're not going to be sticking with the same models if it's not working. That dollar stuff, that ain't going to happen, man. That ain't going to happen no more. You ain't going to see nothing like that for probably ever again. The rate we going, right? Unless there's a bad situation in the economy and everything just collapsed, but you probably won't see nothing like that no time soon. And it is what it is, right? So raising prices, introducing items that have a higher average sale price, and you keep your customers happy. What can you do in your business right now? If you looked out into the future, look right now, what type of issues do you see? What type of struggles are you having? What's your pain point? If you're struggling with sales, why are you struggling with sales? That's what you have to do. Root cause. Remember those two words, man. Root cause. What is the root cause of whatever issue you're dealing with? Then when you figure out that root cause, you can start to branch out and find ideas and come up with ideas and find solutions that will solve the problem of the root cause. But if you never sit down and think about it, and you have to have the courage to take the steps to make it happen. You have to have the courage to take the steps to make it happen, which may involve you getting outside of your comfort zone. Okay? Get outside of your comfort zone. I got to do it for myself too. I got to remind myself of this too. Because sometimes I don't want to do certain things. I don't want to source certain ways. But then at the end of the day, it's like, bro, you're running a business. And for me, I'm full time. So this is what I do. I ain't got like other stuff going on. And I got other like little hustles that I do. But those are just like a couple extra bucks, man. This is it. This is it. So it is what it is, and I gotta and that's why I may pay attention and be more in tune with things like this than the average reseller, because my business, I don't look at it as just like a hobby or anything like that. Like I feed the family with this, but also I look at it from a broader perspective of I am the CEO of my company. And as the CEO, I need to be paying attention not only to my competition, but what's going on with the economy, what's going on around me, what is my environment telling me? Because your environment always speaks to you, right? It ain't just the crazy customers that speak to you guys. The environment is giving you feedback. You need to be in tune with that feedback, and you have to be able to take that information in and interpret it in a way that's going to be beneficial to you. This can be in any aspect in life, but we're just talking right now specifically for your business, and your environment is speaking to you guys. People talk about, or complain rather, about the thrift stores and the Goodwill and the prices going up. That right there is like the first sign, right? When the thrift stores and the Goodwill start raising prices. Some of it may have to do with resellers and the fact that, the content's been out there now, and these places recognize that, hey, we kind of, shooting ourselves in the foot here, man. We got to, what they say, okay, change up the business plan, y'all. We're going to start raising up we're going to start raising our average sale price and things like that. And we're going to increase our revenue, right? They don't care who they piss off, apparently, right? And people still go to Goodwill. People still go to thrift stores, don't they? And so what are you going to do? If they're doing it, if they are raising their prices, if they are bringing in things that, are selling at a higher average sale price, then what are you going to do? Everybody's doing it at this point. And yeah, you can still get some good deals out there and find things at a cheaper price. But I guess at this point, you got to ask yourself, are those the things you want to be selling? Because the fact of the matter is, if you can't move thousands and thousands of units, those ain't things you want to be selling. So maybe you ain't used to retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, or maybe you don't like driving around all day to, yard sales and things like that. But maybe that's what you got to do, because at some point you're going to get past the point of no return, which means if you don't pivot now and do what you got to do to start increasing your revenue, you're going to go out of business and you ain't going to be able to catch up. It's going to be too late. So you have to act now, y'all. All right. I just wanted to bring this to y'all because, man, I've been seeing this kind of, but I wasn't thinking about it that much. What really, really, really brought it out to my attention is when I saw that $3 and $5 owl. That's what really kind of just made it super clear to me. I'm like, damn, they really did just do that, huh? It ain't even $1.25 tree no more. They really did introduce these $3 and $5 items. And why did they do that? Because they know that their current model is probably not that sustainable over time. And so they had to change, even if it's something, and they changed in a way that really doesn't make the consumer all that uncomfortable, because they still have their regular items at $1.25 for the most part, right? It's just like, okay, we're just going to give them another choice to pay a little bit more for these types of things. And so you don't have to, I mean, if you sell everything, it kind of don't matter. But if you've been selling things at a lower average sale price, you don't have to piss off your customers, right? By increasing your prices way up and then putting yourself out of business that way, because nobody's going to buy it. You just, okay, I got that right there. And then you can kind of phase that aspect of your business out over time as you learn what types of items sell good and what they sell for and different places to source it, because this ain't going to be an overnight change. That's why I say you got to start acting now, because eventually the times will catch up with you and you won't be able, you just won't have enough time to catch up because you'll be out of business. You'll run out of money. Okay. So it takes time to learn what sells and where you can sell it, and to learn where the suppliers are and what types of issues you'll have to face and all of that types of stuff, right? Because of course, if you're selling things at a higher average sale price too, a lot of times you're going to have to pay more money for it. So you may need more capital. It just depends on how you sourcing. All right. But that right there just let me know that, yeah, this thing is kind of real, man. And these businesses, they're not waiting for the customer to tell them it's okay to do these things. They're doing it because it's what's going to allow their business to survive. So ask yourself, where's your business going to be at over the course of the next 1 to 3 years? You ain't even got to go 5. Over the next 1 to 3, if you continue with the model you got. Now, if you think you'll be good, fine. Do what you do, and don't change it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But if you can look over the course of the next year or 2 or 3 and say, I don't know, man, you got to start coming up with some solutions. Okay. But tell me what's going on in you guys' city. Is your Dollar Trees doing the same thing? And did you even pay attention to that? And what do you think about what I'm telling you and what I'm saying, and how important it is to understand what's going on in your environment? Are you in tune? Are you getting that feedback? Are you taking it in and then meditating on it and putting it out there into your own business to help yourself grow? Because that's what this channel is about, man. Hustling and growing. So do me a favor, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so that you're notified next time I upload another video.